Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. Today's the last morning meetup of the year. Super crazy. Can't believe the school year's almost over. So some of you are excited, some of you are probably sad. But either way, the year has gone by pretty quickly. So great to see all of you this morning. Just gonna go through a few announcements. Make sure you get your announcement sheet. Make sure you sign it over there. Did everyone get a raffle ticket? Did anyone not get a raffle ticket? Okay, so everyone's good? Okay, great. Okay, so right now is Teacher Appreciation Week 1 of 2. The lower campuses are rather the Little Scholars, and the elementary campuses, this is their Teacher Appreciation Week right now. Next week is for middle school and high school. Super exciting. If you've had an opportunity to sign up, thank you. Thank you for appreciating our people. But that's on Parent Square if you're able to do that. If you haven't yet, that's on Parent Square for you to access and sign up for something. So I know that definitely blesses and makes our teachers and staff feel special. Really exciting time of year. I know they look forward to that a lot. It's that time of the year where you just, you come in and you see coffee and donuts and you see tacos and you're just like, yeah, we will make it through the year. Everything's gonna be okay. Because someone brought us tacos. Okay, so someone raise their hand and tell me, what's this Saturday? Yeah! Now you didn't raise your hand. Okay. Yes, Moana's this weekend, so it's super exciting. There are 2 performances, 3 o'clock and 7. So if you haven't got your tickets for that, you can on Parent Links, which you can access through the website, or from Parent Square, either or. So definitely get that. Tickets are going fast. I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 available, but don't risk it, right? You know you're going. And that's the Generations. 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Don't get confused and think 2, because it's not. It's 3 o'clock. Last Impact meeting of the year. That's, for those of you who don't know, Impact is like our parent-teacher association, caring teachers and parents. So make sure you come to that meeting. It's a lot of fun. We have coffee and donuts if you're not inclined to just come because but you're all caring, so it's fine. And you get a volunteer hour for coming, so please do that. That's over here at our Ovation campus. May the 17th at 6 o'clock. So that's our last Impact of the year. Crazy. Okay. Quick. Mother's Day tea. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. What's going on with Mother's Day tea? That will be here again like it was last year. Right outside in that beautiful courtyard. So tell your friends. That's May the 4th. Now, based on the day, May the 4th, can you think of some interesting themes that some people thought would have been fun and others probably didn't?
I love it.
Star Wars, right? May the 4th be with you. But when we pitched that, it seemed like it wouldn't go over very well. So, Star Wars Mother's Day tea, I don't know. Pretty cool, right? I thought it was cool. So. Oh well, bring your lightsaber and your Darjeeling.
What time is it?
It is at 8:30. It's a great question. 8:30 on May the 4th. Yes. Awesome. And that will also be coming out in the Tuesday tea in like 10 minutes. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. Okay. So in like 10 minutes that will come through. So you'll have these announcements and it will also be in there as well. Spring Recital, please come out to this event. This is on the 29th, April 29th. I believe that's the last Friday of the month. Next Friday. Generations, that's our secondary school, middle and high. They do all the music department, the dance department come together and do this amazing, spectacular performance, modern band, dance. It's really great. So please come out and support that. This is like the 7th or 8th annual. That's a great question. You know, I'm gonna say I believe it's $5. It's historically always been $5. We should do like a fill in the blank details on the thing to make sure you're paying attention. Okay, great. So lots of graduations coming up. BPK, 5th grade, 8th grade, early college. That's all like the May the 20th and then also May the 21st. So VPK is May the 20th at the Ovation campus. 5th grade grad is May the 20th at Calvary Chapel Worship Center on Trouble Creek. That's at 3 o'clock. 8th grade graduation is at Generations down in Trinity. That is at 4 o'clock. I believe it's 4 o'clock. No. 7 o'clock. Yep, thank you. It's 7 o'clock. All these numbers are throwing me off. 8th grade grad is at 7 o'clock, and then early college grad is at 5 o'clock on the Saturday, on May the 21st, at Generations also. And that's also on the Tuesday. Any questions? I don't think I butchered anything too badly. Okay, great. So, we have an amazing guest speaker today, the amazing Miss Jade Gray. She is amazing at many things. She is, please get a chance to read her bio here. She is just one of those people that kind of brings calm and balance to a situation and just is creative and is great at orchestrating these events that people come to and just are kind of blown away by the calm of the situation, also just the art and creativity that went into the whole thing. So we're really blessed to have her with us this morning. So if you could please give her a warm round of applause, Ms. Jade Gray.
So I heard Benjamin say this is the last one, so basically you see.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off before I jump into the whole traditional bio and introduction and who I am and what I do kind of thing. Start off with just a couple questions so I can kind of gauge our audience to find out where you guys are in your making moments matter and kind of just the juggle and struggle of things that we all go through as parents. So one, by the show of hands, who has commitments every single weekend now through the end of the school year, which is 5 weeks away, guys? Like, think about it. Do you have a commitment on your calendar every weekend now through? Okay, some committed people. Who feels a little overwhelmed or busy by the amount of things going on in your children's life, your life, work life? Okay, it's a real thing. By a show of hands, who uses their trusty phone calendar to keep track of all your upcoming events? I live and die by that. Yes, okay. Who's old school? Who has a paper calendar at home still? Yeah. At home or in your purse? Because that's a real thing. Oh, all three. All right, I like it. Who is, I swear, probably the youngest folks in the room, because not everybody can do this still, who uses their amazing minds to hold on to all the events of life?
I'll remember that and put it in my calendar later.
Oh, I lost that somewhere around like 24. Like everything that was in my brain, as all the events that were stuck in my brain, are gone. Who uses nothing? Who is my creative, free-wind people? They don't have a calendar, they don't have a planner. They're like, I just show up. Do I have any of you here? See, there's always one. It's fine. It's fine. It's perfect. So, if you have your calendars with you, I'm going to challenge you and I'm going to ask you to take those out right now to take a look at them real quick. So if it's on your phone or if you have that paper calendar, or even if you have a calendar on your phone and you want to look at those dates, just to like jog your memory of what's coming up over the next couple weeks. So take it out because we're going to do an activity at the end of the meetup. But first, I want you to look at this paper. Oh, does everybody have this paper? You should have two papers today. If you are missing a paper, raise your hand and we'll get it to you. On that first line, I want you to take a second and just rapid fire list all the activities you have now until the end of the school year. Think about baseball games, graduations, parties. Do you have commitment, like big commitments or productions at your church or your community events? I'm gonna grab my, here. I'm gonna set like a 2-minute timer and just rapid fire list. put those all-important coffee dates in there. Your extra work trainings. Sometimes we have those trainings at work that come up. Those dentist appointments that we try our hardest to squeeze in during summer, like summertime and Christmas time. Try and stick as many of them in there as you can. If you do this around Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's a little overwhelming sometimes, I will say. But if you have those summer breaks, I mean, there's a lot of things happening in the next 5 weeks. All right, yeah, 10 seconds. Okay, time. So keep your list. If things pop up as we're talking, you can add them to your list, kind of put it off to the side, and we're going to come back to that one in a second. So just a quick introduction of myself. My name is Jade Gray. I'm the owner of Moments Matter Event Planning. And I don't call myself just the owner or the CEO as it's listed there. I am the Chief Happiness Officer, and that's what I want to be in all areas when I'm serving as a community member, as a volunteer, or working with my church. Is I just want to bring happiness and joy to the people participating in that event. So I'm your Chief Happiness Officer of Moments Matter. People really hire me to help reduce the stress in their lives, to keep things organized. And to just bring a fun factor to their events. But more than that, I just like it to be a calm and stress-free environment for the clients and their families. I don't know, have you guys ever been at the event where you were suddenly the event planner and you didn't even sign up for the job and all you did was run around at those events? I want to be that person for you so that you can just chill and relax. But other than that, before I started my own business, I was the program director at a nonprofit called For the Girls International. We went into the schools, into the community, and we taught teenage girls about their worth, their value, and it was just a great opportunity. I loved serving along that nonprofit for about 4 years. And then before that, I was working here at Dayspring. I actually got to I was like the founding member of these morning meetups. So Suzanne and I got together and we got it started, I don't know, 5 years ago? I feel like it's been going on for a long time now. So I have a lot of roles at Dayspring, and I've had them over the years, anything from the events coordinator to the impact coordinator. I worked in the classroom, I worked in the front office, and when I wasn't doing those and working at another organization, I was working as a volunteer for our galas. So Dayspring is like part of me. I love this school, and I appreciate being here and being able to speak with you today. So basically, all in all, I'm not going to tell you my actual age, but I have been between church, community organizations, and my professional life. I've been doing events for about 23 years. I started when I was younger. Okay, we're going to say teenager, so you can do the math. So I'm happy to be here and just to be able to teach you a little bit about how I've learned how to make moments matter. Now, you'd think the events and the community opportunities have really guided that for me, but I think more than that, it's been the impact of Grandma Leela in my life. So my husband is an only child of an only child, and Grandma Leela is his grandma, and sweet Grandma Leela had to wait a very, very, very long time to have grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So she was 21 when she had her son. She was 55 when she had her very first grandbaby. Then she had to wait about another 30 years. She was 85 when she had her first great-grandbaby. So at 85 years old, Grandma Leela knew how important it was to make moments matter, to make lasting memories, to have an impact in the children's lives, the children that she had in her life, because she knew her time was limited. So I truly used her as a guidepost for me, and she taught me so much over the last 13 years of how to make moments matter with my children. I remember her saying when Leela, my first daughter, was just young, she'd always say, well, I pray that she'll remember me when she's a teenager, that I live long enough that she'll remember me. And then when my second child came along, Claire, every day we'd get together, every Tuesday we'd get together. Well, I just pray that I live long enough that she'll remember me. And by the grace of God, she lived 13 years. She just passed away during COVID, and this woman has taught me so much, and I'm so thankful for her. So some of the life lessons she kind of gave me. Sorry. This is the first time I got to share this story without her in my life. So I've done this talk a couple times. And she has, the thing that impacted me the most, she did not pass away from COVID, but the last 8 months of her life were drastically transformed because of social distancing. So the hugs and the sugar that she always wanted, we had to step back from. The visits she wanted, we had to step back from. The picnic lunches, our game nights that we would have together, we all had to distance ourselves from her to keep her safe, we thought. But what she taught me when she was with my girls is how to make these moments matter. And, her death and her passing taught me how important it is to live in this moment. Because tomorrow's not a guarantee. I know it's a little heavy starter, guys, and I'm sorry about that. We'll get into more fun, interesting things. But we just have to remember that these moments that we have with our children right now are the only ones that they are precious right now. That our kids are only going to be this age at this moment. So just hold that close to your heart, that these events you do with your kids, these memories you're making are there for a reason. It's your opportunity to really just love on them and be present with them. So I'm going to get into our 4 topics of making moments matter. So our first one is listed on your worksheet. And these are the 4 things that I've learned from Grandma Leela, just from her experience and what she's taught me, is number 1, having a legacy in mind. Thinking, okay, with those important relationships in our life, our children, our husbands, people that we value, our parents, we need to have a goal in mind. How do we want these people to remember us? What is that impression that we want to give to those around us? Do we want our best friends to think that we are that workaholic who never has time to call them back? Or do you want your best friend to remember you? Oh, she's that fun-loving friend who just enjoys life, and we had the best time on vacations because we made a point to always have vacations together. So legacy is important. We're going to do a quick activity where I want you to take a minute and list about 5 to 8 of your key relationships in your life. Think about the most important ones. For you, it might be a God or a faith relationship, your spouse, your children, your parents, maybe family, friends, teammates. So I'm going to give you about 1 minute to just list the 5 most important relationships you have. Okay, so my sister, she burned me one time. She was like, Jade, listen, you give your energy, your time, your patience, your love away to all kinds of people all the time. And it's just, I show up and I'm just gonna love on you. That's just who I am. And she said, but we all have these relationships in our life. And she's like, let's think about it like coins. There's 25-cent relationships. Those are the most important ones, the most valuable ones, the ones you don't want to give away. You have your 10-cent relationship, your 5-cent relationships, and your pennies, all these acquaintances in your life that really shouldn't cost as much. And my sister made me kind of stop and realize, am I giving my all my most valuable time and attention to those most important relationships in your life. So look at your list right now. Are you giving your children your time and your energy, your effort, or is it all getting drained out at work? Are you giving your spouse that quality time, or do you pretty much say, here's the kids, bye, I'm only spending time with my friends? Like, take a second sometimes and evaluate that and look at those key relationships and ask yourself, are they worth the most for me? Am I giving them the time and the attention that they need and they deserve? So when you're looking at those 5 names on your list, 5 to 8 names, take a second, pick one of them, and really quick, just describe how you would like that person to remember you. So like, I think about my kids. I don't want my kids to remember me just as the event planner who does really great balloons. I don't. And they always tell me, Mom, you're such a great event planner. It's like, but I want you to remember and to feel my compassion, my love, that that we are spontaneous and we have fun, and that I've carved out times for you. So look at your paper, pick one person in your life, maybe one person that you're trying to like build that relationship and have a stronger relationship with, and what are the things that you want them to see in you and to remember about you? Your faith, maybe, the way you make people laugh, your humor. So take a note or two about that, and we're going to come back to that one in a minute. Okay, hold on to that for a second because we're going to swing back around to that at the very end. Our point, so one is legacy. Keeping in mind your end goal of what kind of relationship do you want to have with those key relationships, and what are you doing to move towards that end goal of that kind of relationship you want. My point number 2 on making moments that really matter is priority. And now normally, I've had this conversation before and this talk before, normally I go into a whole different talk, but like many of you, March 2020 changed things for us. And it changed even this part, where I used to tell you how to say no to things. I tell you funny ways to say no. I tell you respectful ways to say no. I tell you, direct ways to say no to other priorities so that you can limit your schedule for those key relationships. And I found myself, after March 2020, really saying yes, but saying yes to something different. I took some time, that little break from life, where we all had to pause and kind of maybe stop working as much. Our kids weren't going to all their sports and activities. I found myself saying yes to valuable time with my kids, saying yes to myself. Like, I would actually give myself time to read a book, or saying yes to being more creative. I did so many of those like YouTube paints, like, I don't know, like there's YouTube video, they teach you how to paint. It's like painting with a twist in your house. So I let myself be creative. I said yes to still and calmness, actually being calm and just enjoying a movie with my kids rather than answering my phone, doing laundry, trying to do all those things when we're sitting on the couch. Sometimes our kids just want us present in that moment. So legacy is number 1, priority is number 2. There is a saying that says, hurt people hurt people. Hurting people hurt people. If we have hurts, if we have burdens, if we have some deep wounds that have happened in our lives, how do we show up as a wholehearted parent to our children? If we just push those things aside again and again and again, we can't be fully present with them when we're trying to make those moments matter, when we're trying to instill those values in our children. So take stock and rather than having the priority as the point this time where you say no to all these extra commitments, say yes to yourself this time. Because if you don't take the time to be healthy and whole, we can't really teach and guide our children in a whole way. So during COVID and even more recently, this book right here is kind of what's listed. I'm not going to even pretend that I'm Brene Brown because she's amazing. Anybody watch any of her podcasts or read a book of hers? Oh, look her up. She's wonderful, Brene Brown. She's listed on the bottom of your page. So then I could pretend that I was Brene Brown. You wouldn't know, but I won't because she does it so much better than me. This book right here has been just very transformative to say yes to a wholehearted me so I can be a wholehearted parent. I'm going to just read these off. We're not going to go super deep. If you want to learn more, pick up her book or listen to her podcast. But she talks about saying yes to authenticity and letting go of what other people think, so letting go of that people-pleasing. Saying yes to being self-compassionate and just pushing away some of that perfectionism because it really can change the path and direction in our household and in our lives. Being resilient, and letting go of numbing and powerless feelings. I think we've all numbed, especially during COVID. We're like, I'm going to binge watch that Netflix series the whole time. I mean, we can all turn off instead of being resilient and pushing through difficult things. Saying yes to gratitude and joy. Saying yes to your faith. Saying yes to being creative. Saying yes to play and rest. Still in calmness. Saying yes to meaningful work. And yes to laughter, song, and dance. So basically, just being silly. You don't have to be in control all the time. You don't have to be cool and collected. You can be silly and fun and ridiculous with your children. I remember one vacation. My children will probably remember this as their favorite beach vacation. We were just all sitting out by the pool, and they were playing, and us adults were being like the nighttime adults where we were full, we ate food, we don't want to get in the pool again. We just don't. And the kids were being so silly and so fun, and that flash, that moment, again, passed before in my head. I was like, man, they're only this young once. And legit jumped in the pool with all my clothes on, and they thought it was the funniest thing ever. And we played and we splashed and I got out and whatever. It was 5 minutes, but it was one of those moments where you're just like, no, I'm gonna be present right here with my kids and make this a memorable moment with my children. So this book is up for raffle today. It's, again, a really great read if you're really trying to say yes to you and become that wholehearted parent so that you can be the best for your kids and show up for them. So Brene Brown wrote this wholehearted parenting manifesto, and it's that you have it. I think you should have it on your paper too. So above all else, I want you to know that you're loved and lovable. You will learn from my words and actions and lessons. The lessons on love are in how I treat you and how I treat myself. I want you to engage with the world from a place of worthiness. You will learn that you are worthy of love, belonging, and joy. Every time you see me practice self-compassion and embrace my own imperfections. We will practice courage in our family by showing up, letting ourselves be seen, and honoring vulnerability. We will share our stories and struggles and strengths. There will always be room in our home for both. We will teach you compassion by practicing compassion with ourselves first, then with each other. We will set and respect boundaries. We will honor hard work, hope, and perseverance. Rest and play will be our family values as well as family practice. We will learn accountability and respect by watching me make mistakes and make amends, and by watching how I ask for what I need and talk about how I feel. I want you to know joy, so together we can practice gratitude. I want you to feel joy, so together we will learn how to be vulnerable. When uncertainty and scarcity visit, we will be able to draw from the spirit that is part of our everyday life. Together we will cry and face fears and grief. I want you to take away from the pain. I want you to take away from your pain, but instead I will sit with you and teach you how to feel it. We will laugh and sing and dance and create. We will always have permission to be ourselves with each other. No matter what, we will always belong here. As you begin your wholehearted journey, the greatest gift that I can give you is to live and to love with your whole heart and to dare greatly. I will not teach or love or show you anything perfectly, but I will let you see me, and I will always hold sacred the gifts in seeing you, truly deeply seeing you. So this is just a little reminder of how we can have that authenticity and compassion and teach it to our children. Again, great book, great read. Say yes to you. Become that wholehearted parent so you can serve your children better. Okay, back to your calendars. Open up your calendars really quick here. And I want you, if you're saying yes to you, and yes to more time with your kids, and yes to more intentional times with those key relationships that you may or may not be really focused on lately, you gotta remove some things. We have to delete a little bit from our calendars and from our lives in order to have elbow room sometimes. So look at it and ask yourself, can you delete something in order to allow more time for key relationships? Can you make space for yourself? Do you have space in your calendar, in your life, to read that good self-help book? Do you have space in your life to go on a vacation away with your spouse so you're feeding into that relationship? Do you have space in your life to make you whole and healthy so that you can serve your children well? And do you have space for your kids in your calendar? Those are all important questions to ask as you're looking at it. Let me jump over here. Okay. So we talked about our legacy, our priorities, saying yes to ourselves so that we can be wholehearted, and now consistency. Consistency goes hand in hand with priorities. You have to make yourself and your family a priority, and when you do it consistently, it becomes a routine and a minimal effort. If you have regular date nights with your family, or with your kids or with your spouse, it does not feel like a burden to try and fit those into your schedule. I remember while I was a stay-at-home mom, and even when I started working at Dayspring, I got this job and I was like, yes, I'm working in the front office. It's gonna be so exciting. I'm saying yes to this job, but you have to give me off early on Tuesdays because I have to go see Grandma Leela. It was the craziest ask ever because I made it a normal practice that Grandma Leela and I would have lunch every Tuesday. That was part of our routine so that she could build those memories with my kids, and I was consistent to build that relationship with her. So work was willing that first year to give me off early on Tuesdays so that I can keep up those practices. So consistency is key. And consistency is one of those words that you're like, oh, I don't want to be consistent at the gym. I don't want to consistently eat healthy. It has almost, I don't know, for me sometimes I'm like, it's hard to be consistent. But you can make it fun. What are family traditions that you have that you consistently do each year? Hands. I need to know. What are your family traditions? What's something you do, Becky?
We always do a big group for Mother's Day camping.
Mother's Day camping.
It's very much about the kids, mostly,
Yeah.
but the dads kind of they know their role. The moms get to go on rides if
Yep.
they want.
Yep. Yeah. Hammocks for the moms.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. What are some other family traditions that you guys have done with your kids or family as a whole? Yes.
On the last day of school every year, I usually take them out for ice cream.
Ice cream last day of school, that's a good one. To celebrate that next year. Yeah.
So we have 3 kids, and we recently started doing each month, setting aside a day where we take just one of our kids out to do something that they like to do. So our oldest son was to a concert last month.
That's awesome.
Take our middle son to a cooking class because he loves to cook, or her to the tea room, have a tea party.
Yeah.
So just so that they get that 1 or 2
Yeah.
time with their parents, because I noticed that sometimes when we do a lot of stuff together as a family, but I always get worried that one of the kids may feel like they're not getting a chance to.
Absolutely, and I strongly encourage that. I've had a couple of families, moms in my life that have very large families, and some of their.
You pointed at me.
You were one of them. It was sweeping, but there was others. So you're coming next, so just be thinking how you do this. But some of the advice I've heard over the years is let one kid stay up late one night a week. So when that one kid gets to stay up a half hour later so that they get that one-on-one time with their family. Doing those date nights, doing those special events that are just for those children. having a special meal. If some families, I know I have one family at my church where breakfast is their meal. They're like, dinner is crazy town. There's too many commitments at the end, but they have made it a family tradition that they have breakfast together every day. Ready for you, Rosa. How do you love on all those beautiful children in your life?
Well, we only have one in the house now.
We're talking past, but yeah, let's hear it.
We had dinner every single night together.
Okay, family dinner.
We had to have dinner every night.
Yeah.
And then they had to go to church.
Yep.
And then they all had their individual sports or like music and all these other things that we would take each one to. We had Disney World passes and we would take each kid
Ooh.
one at a time.
Okay.
Or it was just me, my husband, and one kid.
And one kid, yeah. So those special moments, that goes so far in a child's life. Those are the memories that they really latch onto and think about. Let me ask you this question. Think about that's the next point. I'll leave that one be. That question's for later. Okay, so, family game nights, movie marathons, I gotta be honest, we are a Star Wars family. So May the 4th be with you is a day where we have movie marathons. My children know that they're going to get Star Wars themed food, and there may or may not be lightsabers battles in my house. So we have that as a tradition. We have smaller ones where it's not so much work. We have family game nights. That is an important thing. We buy family games together, and we enjoy board games together as well. All right, I have 5 more minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. So let me do this right now. And under your consistency area, write 1 or 2 traditions you want to add to your life. You want to add to your kids' schedule. Do you want to have an 18th birthday vacation that you do with them? Do you want to have a regular family game night? The mommy-daughter dates or the daddy-daughter date nights? It could be simple as evening bike rides, because if we're trying to build a healthy life with our kids too, so have healthy activities going on in the evenings. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think of 1 or 2 traditions you may want to add to your routine. Okay, so here's your homework. You have to take some things and put these on your calendar. Don't just put it on this paper and walk home tonight, but actually get that calendar out and put a couple traditions, schedule a couple times where you're doing something with your spouse, you're doing something for yourself, you're doing something with your kids, and put them in your calendar, because if you don't make them a priority like we had put before, they don't happen. If we don't raise them to that level of actually focusing on them, they tend to fall off. So my last point, we have our legacy, our priority, our consistency, and then quality over quantity. This is the other book that changed the way I loved and made memories with my children and my husband, is The 5 Love Languages of Children. Has anyone read this one? Or 5 Love Languages book at all? These are good topics too. Just so you know. We can do it's a good one. So you can do love languages. This is for children, but you can apply it to your relationships with your friends and family as well. Find out what your kids' love language is. And they tend to be, obviously, 5 love languages, 5 things. Usually, we give and we receive love a specific way. So we have a love language, but so are our children. And we give and receive love typically 5 different ways. Is by gifts. You might have a gift giver in your life. Does anybody know a gift giver? That is yeah, I have some gift givers in my life. Quality time. Your kid their love language might be quality time if they are the kid that yells at you for having your phone out while you're sitting on the couch watching a movie with them, or your laptop's open, or you're trying to read a book while you're sitting on the couch watching a show with them. So quality time is a big one. Words of affirmation. We have those kids who need to be praised and loved and acknowledged and reminded verbally that they are awesome children. So we need to speak to them in that love language of words of affirmation. Acts of service. I swear every mom, some level of them is an acts of service. They love acts of service. But it's basically going out of your way to do something nice. So I have a friend at work. Her husband gets her gas all the time. She never has to get her own gas. He knows acts of service are important to her. He woke up the other morning at 5 a.m., took the car out because he didn't get gas on the way home, got gas, brought it home so that he could leave for work on time. So acts of service is just going above and beyond and loving on your family in that way. What's the one I'm missing? Touch. Yep. A physical touch. I have a physical touch daughter, my youngest daughter is, and I swear that child, like, one of our family traditions, we snuggle and tickle time in bed at night before bed. Like, she has to be snuggled or she has to be tickled attacked. It does not fail. She is a 6th grader. Don't tell her I tell you this. But she still wants tickles and snuggles because she's a physical touch kid. I do not want to be touched at 9 o'clock at night. I do not. I do not want to be touched at 9 o'clock at night. But I know she needs that, and I know that means so much to her. So I make that an important part. So those 5 love languages, and once you understand them about your children, is how you're going to make quality time with your kids. Because if you do activities that feed those love languages, you've just amplified that activity to meet the need that your children have. So every snow fest, every fall festival, every graduation, jumping on obstacle courses, bounce house, like they don't all add up to quantity. You know, quantity is more important than quality. But if you do those very specific things, I even heard Rosa saying it, that each kid has an activity. Those are the things that mean something to them. So when you're planning time with your kids, pick quality time over just filling your schedule with fun activities. And it will mean so much more. Who has a memory, like, what's your favorite childhood memory? Any favorites? Yeah.
My dad and I were in karate together, and those 2 nights a week were my favorite. We had that time, but also our only thing we ate for dinner was ice cream.
That's,
He's
yeah.
like, we worked our butts off. We get ice cream.
We get ice cream. All right. Childhood memory, yes.
When my dad would take us roller skating every Friday night, and sometimes we'd bring like a soda can to get like discount.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I remember
then
those days.
afterwards, we'd say that the truck was hungry and stuff at our favorite restaurant.
Ice cream, I see a theme here. Mine was my dad. I'm a quality time person. So my dad would leave the cell phone at home because it was always, this is Dave with Water Medic, and he was always, business calls left and right. He'd leave the cell phone at home, and we'd go camping in the ricketiest, I don't know where he found these tents, but we had so much fun. We would be sunburned because he wouldn't force us to put sunscreen on. I think we just ate junk food, and we made campfires, and we got to cook over the campfire, and it was the coolest thing ever because I was like 6, and I got to cook over live fire. But it's those things, because he just let us have quality time with him. It was not his cell phone in the way. He was not doing service calls. We weren't stopping on the way to fix some water softener and then get in the car to go to the bounce house place. It was just us together. So, take your childhood memories and think back. Like, you don't remember every one of these festivals your parents ever took you to. But think about the ones that mean the most to you and try and recreate something that your children will value above any other bounce house they can go to, and put those in your schedule. So I'm going to wrap it up because I think I'm about out of time right now. Play, keep, delete on your calendars this week. Cross off some things that don't have to be there. Make sure you're investing in those 5 to 8 key relationships that mean the most to you, and say yes to yourself, so that you can be a wholehearted parent and you can show up as the best version of you when you're making memories with your kids. Thank you so much for listening. You guys have raffle. Yes. All right, so it's raffle time. Grab your raffle tickets. Anybody still missing a raffle ticket? Yes, so? Here we got them all. All right, so, and you can pass this, you can give this along. If you have this book already, give it to a gift to somebody else. Okay. Reading my numbers. And it is for the 5 love languages of children. The last 3 digits are 724. 724. All right. I don't stretch that far, so. Okay. The Gift of Imperfection by Brene Brown. If you don't get this book, I'd recommend it, or get her podcast, or think she's got 18 others. She's got great TED Talks on YouTube. 716. 716. All right. There you go. All right, that is everything for me. Benjamin, do you want to close us out today?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jade. Let's have another round of applause for Jade. So, such good stuff, such good stuff. I don't think we hear enough or stop enough to just kind of digest, what it is to be with family and what really matters. These are the things that matter most. And yeah, I know personally I struggle with how busy life is to start with, kind of not to smell the roses, but who am I around, who am I investing in, and where am I at with my family. I know maybe you guys resonate with this too, but on Sunday, I'll me and my wife will say goodnight, and I'll be like, well, see you on Friday, see you on Saturday, because we have to be intentional about making time for each other on the weekends and, picking a night during the week, because with the busyness of everything, it's just sometimes I don't even see her, during the week. Maybe that's how things are sometimes with your families. So this is really, really, really helpful. Thank you all so much for coming. Have a great week. Lots of exciting things coming up, so please be checking Parent Square, Parent Links. Tuesday Tea went out a little while ago, so if you have any questions, come see us. Have a great, wonderful rest of your awesome Tuesday. Okay, bye.